Good day to you all, my friends. Welcome back to my Thin Slice of Heaven, the RAFscents YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well today, and there is no sense teasing what the topic of this video is going to be today. We are talking about fragrances from Parfums de Marly, my favorite niche house. Now, I know I go over a lot of designer fragrances, a lot of affordable fragrances on this channel. And that's mostly because that's what most people can afford. It's a very difficult thing to afford a niche fragrance, but it does need to be talked about from time to time, and I love talking about them because niche fragrances are incredible, and this particular house, Parfums de Marly, is my favorite niche house. I'm going to be going over the 5 bottles that I own because I just acquired a new one yesterday, and it is a banger. So I'm going to go over 5 Parfums de Marly's fragrances that I currently own, and I'm even going to talk about a couple of them that I am looking to get in the future. Let's do it. I'm so excited about this. As I talk about the fragrances in this list, I'm actually going to be introducing them in order from my least favorite to my favorite as far as the Parfums de Marly bottles that I have in my collection. But don't get me wrong when I say that, because I love this first fragrance. Even though this is the first fragrance on this list and it's the one that I like the least, I still rank this as an 8.5 out of 10. And that tells you how much I really enjoy these other fragrances. And this first one that I'm talking about is Parfums de Marly Percival. Percival is a great spring and summertime fragrance. It's one of the freshest in their collection. You've also got things like Galloway. You've also got some Greenlee. You've also got some Sedley. But this one right here, I think, is more versatile than those other ones because it has some floral and citrusy notes along with a little bit of a musky bottom. We're talking lavender and geranium with some bergamot on the top. And then as you dry down, there are some floral notes in there that give it some cohesiveness, but they're not like, it's not like you're smelling a flower bed or anything like that. It's just, they're there to really build into the strength of the fragrance. And then finally down towards the bottom, you've got some ambroxan, you've got some amberwood, and you have some musk. That is really good. Now this is, as I said, this is a spring and summertime fragrance, but it is also very versatile. For those of you guys that are more into the designer side of fragrances, I would put this somewhere on the same level as something like Prada L'Homme. It's very clean. It is lavender, a lavender heavy fragrance. But it is very suitable for a number of situations. You can wear it to the office. You can wear it in formal occasions. You can wear this just casually around the house if you're just kind of up and about but want to still smell good. There are so many different places you can wear this, and I get tons of compliments. And as you guys see, I have the 75 milliliter bottle. This is their smaller version of the fragrance. They also have the 125 milliliter large versions. You're going to save money with this one, but here's the thing. You're still going to get bang for your buck because as with all of the other fragrances from Parfums de Marly, you only need 2 or 3 sprays, and it's going to get you by from 8 hours up, okay? And that's no exception to this fragrance. So Percival, it is a great fresh fragrance for those of you guys that want to get into something niche quality, but still really enjoyable and really easy to like, okay? There you go. Now for my second fragrance on this list, we have an absolute banger for the fall and winter time, and it may even be a bit of a controversial pick because a lot of you will probably say I should have put this fragrance higher up on the list, but this is just my personal opinion, and like I said before, I'm not knocking this fragrance at all. I would even give this one about a 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. It is Herod from Parfums de Marly. Oh my word, such a great and rich fragrance. This is a tobacco heavy fragrance with some vanilla, some other spicy notes like cinnamon. It's got a little bit of incense in there, as well as some woody and musky notes towards the bottom. I don't want you to think when I say tobacco and vanilla, this is not anywhere on the level of something like Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Even though the vanilla is in there, it is not very pronounced like the Tobacco Vanille. And when I list some of these spices, it doesn't have the same spice as something like Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb Extreme or even Mancera Red Tobacco. I prefer this one actually to both of those fragrances because it is a little more subtle in its presentation of all of those other notes, but the tobacco note in here is undeniable. As far as all of these fragrances on this list, this is my poorest performing fragrance at about 7 to 8 hours, but you better be ready because it is still powerful in its projection. Now, this is also one that I would say from Parfums de Marly is one of their more dense fragrances. It sits very, very heavy on your skin. So I would not recommend this for any time during the spring unless it's under about 50 degrees outside. I would definitely not recommend this one for summer or even early fall when the temperature is getting, still coming out of that summertime phase and it's still a little bit warm outside. And this is absolutely for very cold weather because of how heavy it sits. All right, but it is such a great fragrance. It is a gentlemanly tobacco fragrance. It does put off some very suave vibes. So here it is, Herod. It is a fantastic fragrance. Now for the third fragrance on this list, I'm going to tell you I'm really excited to bring this to you for a couple of reasons. Number one, I just got this fragrance yesterday. I've smelled it many times, but I was able to acquire it and I love it. Number two, I don't see very many people actually talking about this fragrance in the fragrance community. It's often left off in place of some of the more popular fragrances, and I think it should be discussed as a top tier fragrance from Parfums de Marly. There's even a good chance that some of you guys may not even know what this fragrance is or may not even know that it exists. But let's talk about it. This one is Habdan from Parfums de Marly. Oh my God, an absolute banger of a fragrance. Once again, a fall and winter fragrance here, but this one is very unique in its presentation and it sits somewhere in that same category of fragrances where you would find Wojan, where you would find Carlisle, spicy and deep, but some of the spices in here are a little bit different than what you would find in other fragrances. Right here on the top, you've got some great top notes of saffron and frankincense. Frankincense is kind of like a sweet incense. Incense just kind of gives it a little bit of a spicy, smoky feel, but this one is a sweet, spicy, smoky feel, okay? As it dries off, you're gonna be met in the middle with some apple. You're gonna be met with a little bit of rose and also some oud. And then finally there in the bottom, it is very ambery, very warm, and all in all, this one is a very unique and very distinctive fall and wintertime fragrance, but I do think it is very easy to like. I say very well like, not a lot of people I've seen wear this one, but it is very easy to like. And I dare say it's blind buy worthy if you're brave enough to do that. But this one right here, because of that frankincense especially, maybe it's just because I love Christmas, I would definitely wear this around the holidays. It is not quite as dense and as deep as something like Herod is. With that saffron note in there and with that rose note in there, it does kind of liven it up a little bit to make it a little more versatile, but not that much more versatile, okay? You can wear it at the end of fall, you can wear it at the beginning of spring, and definitely in the wintertime in the later fall seasons as well. It's a very distinctive fragrance, my friends. It is so good. I would rank this as about a 9.5 to a 9.7 on a scale of, 1 to 10. It is an absolute stellar fragrance. If you want a Parfums de Marly fragrance to really diversify your collection, this is going to be a great one to consider. My friends, prepare yourself for fragrance number 2. If you are new to this channel, you need to prepare yourself for how awesome and amazing this fragrance is. But if you have seen a lot of my videos, I'm telling you to prepare yourself because I'm getting ready to beat a dead horse and I have no shame about it. Parfums de Marly, Haltan, my friends. The Romantic Oud fragrance in the Parfums de Marly collection, their latest release for the guys, and it is so romantic, it is so gentlemanly and suave and refined. Oh, it is a 9.8 out of 10. 9.8. I'm not going to give it a full 10 simply because the one that I have in the number 1 spot, it's a 10, and I don't want anybody else to I don't want any other fragrances to tie it. But this one right here, guys, this is one that stands apart from the rest of their collection. It is romantic. It is sophisticated. Like I said before, you've got a top note of saffron, a middle note of praline, giving it a good sweet, almost an edible type of gourmandy feel to it. And then right at the bottom, you've got a nice smooth and deep oud note in there. Fall and winter fragrance, definitely. This one is one that I wear on date nights with my wife, and she absolutely loves it. I've gotten a ton of compliments from this one, and I will continue to get them as I wear it in the future. Now, you got to be ready, though, because this one is going to cost between $325 to $350 if you shop online. If you shop retail, it's going to be upwards of $400. I paid retail for it, okay? I know that you guys may give me some crap about it. I paid retail for it because of how much I love it. Sometimes when you want something so bad, you just have to get it right then and right there. But luckily, I'd already been saving up for it and everything. So I knew what I was getting into, but I would absolutely buy this one retail again if I ran out. But that's how much I love Halton. You need to get it. I'm just saying you need to get it. My friends, there's no sense in me dragging out the intro to my top pick for Parfums de Marly fragrances. I'm sure many of you already know what it is. It is easily a 10 out of 10. It is Layton. My guys, this was my first Parfums de Marly fragrance that I ever purchased. It was a blind buy, and to this day, it is still my favorite. Not just in my collection of Parfums de Marly fragrances, but it is my favorite in the entire house. It is an absolute work of art, and there are so many things that make this a 10 out of 10. Number one, it has an absolutely amazing scent profile. We're talking top notes of apple, lavender, and bergamot. There are some subtle floral notes in there with some geranium and jasmine right there in the heart notes, but as you dry down, you've got some vanilla, you've got some sandalwood, and you've even got just a tiny bit of guaiac wood right there. But the woody notes are not overpowering at all. It is a great scent profile. It's aromatic, it is sweet, it's a little bit spicy, altogether beautiful. Number two, the performance is epic. Only 2 sprays is what you need on this fragrance, and it will last you an easy 10 to 12 hours. So you have no problem, even if you got a small bottle like this, it's going to last you for months and possibly even years, depending on how much you use it. Number three is I think it's very versatile. A lot of people market this as a cold weather fragrance, but here in Florida where it's warm all the time, I have learned to use this during the warmer months, and it does not put people off. The aromatic qualities and some of the woody qualities in this fragrance, even though it's sweet, those other qualities of it being aromatic and woody really do work during the springtime. I wouldn't wear it during the humid summer months, but the springtime, the early fall when it's still really warm outside, this can absolutely get the job done. And then finally, why is this the best Parfums de Marly fragrance? Because this one right here is not only the easiest to like, but it draws people in to the niche world in a way that very few other niche fragrances can do. So many times niche companies make scents and fragrances that are so unique. It's just like, you have to be one of those people in order to really enjoy it. And sometimes that just puts me off, man. I love people to be able to enjoy every style of perfumery. I love people to get into all different aspects of the fragrance world. And very few fragrances have been able to draw people in like this one. Maybe Creed Aventus, maybe Baccarat Rouge 540. And even though Tom Ford Oud Wood is not a niche fragrance per se, it's definitely niche quality. Things like that have, kind of drawn people in. But this one right here, I think, does it the best. And that is probably why not only this sets apart for me as the best Parfums de Marly fragrance out there, it may be one of my favorite niche fragrances, period. But Layton, my friends, easy blind buy. You should absolutely look into getting this. Don't skip out on Layton, my friends. So those are the fragrances in my collection, and I love each and every one of them, and I wear them regularly. There are a couple of fragrances that I'm still looking to get from Parfums de Marly, and they are all super amazing. Like I said, I've smelled every single one of them multiple times, and I can't get enough of them. One day, If I can manage it, I want to have their entire collection. I think it would be stellar. But a couple of the good ones I want to get, I really want to get Sedley. That's a good saltwater, oceanic, summertime fragrance. I want to get Greenlee. Greenlee has a really nice apple opening. It smells like a Granny Smith apple, but has some nice green notes as well that make it great for the springtime. I want to look into getting Wojan. Wojan is a great romantic, almost gourmandy fragrance. Carlisle, another really good fragrance that is it is spicy. It is a little bit tobacco-y with some boozy notes in there that give it a little bit of a bad boy vibe. And I would dare say some people may knock me from this, but Callan. Callan is a very unique, spicy, woody, citrusy thing. It's got blood orange and some very distinct spices in there with some woody notes. It's kind of like riding a Harley, through a small town, man. Everybody knows that you're there when you wear it. It is probably what I would consider to be one of their most polarizing fragrances, and definitely one that requires a little bit of confidence to pull off. Not to mention all of their other fragrances are super good, from Galloway to Pegasus. Pegasus is super sweet. Pegasus exclusive though, top notch as well. So guys, I hope you all have liked this video. Don't forget to check out the description below. I am leaving links to all of these fragrances so that you can purchase them at really great prices. And it does help me out a little bit, as it does kind of earn me a little commission on the sales of these. But I am so thankful that you guys have been clicking on these links, purchasing these fragrances from Joma Shop or Twisted Lily or whatever affiliate links that I leave. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that yada, yada, yada. I don't need to go into that. But just know that Jesse loves you. We'll see you next time.